Most couples start their life together in a house or an apartment. But Victoria Chalaya and Rico Stoll chose a very different path. They made a yacht their first home and lived at sea for 8 years. That bold choice, driven by both passion and risk, became the start of Nauti Styles. Victoria spent over 20 years in Hollywood, where she learned how to tell great stories and shine on camera. Rico's background was more unusual. He served in the military, worked as a paramedic, and later became a DJ and music producer. His experience gave him strong production skills and an understanding of how to reach and connect with people. Together, they built a YouTube brand loved by millions. But behind the polished yacht tours lies a deeper truth. Their success came through sacrifice, resilience, and the courage to follow their dream. Victoria Chalaya was not born into the easy world of oceans and yachts. She came from St. Petersburg, Russia, a city that wears its history in layers of grandeur and hardship. Her childhood was shaped by the contrasts of post-Soviet life, beauty, and ambition, existing side by side with uncertainty and restraint. At 16, she left home for Los Angeles, a move that felt like sailing blind into open seas. Her dream was not yachts, but film. UCLA Film School promised the chance to craft stories on screen, and she poured herself into it. Yet Hollywood was never kind to dreamers. The doors she pushed against stayed closed. Directors dismissed her. Casting agents treated her as disposable. Eventually, she pivoted to acting, appearing in shows like Castle and CSI Crime Scene Investigation. For 20 years, she worked in the brutal churn of the industry, often chasing roles that went nowhere, living with the gnawing sense that she was only inches from a breakthrough that never came. Behind the screen life, however, another passion was forming. She began writing about boats. What started as a blog, Nauti Styles, was a quiet rebellion against Hollywood's indifference. She earned her captain's license, studied marine biology, and slowly built knowledge that had nothing to do with scripts or auditions. Friends thought it was a hobby. In reality, it was a seed waiting for the right soil. Rico Stoll's childhood in Germany followed a different rhythm. Discipline and structure framed his early years, and service shaped his early adulthood. 4 years in the military taught him resilience. 6 years as a paramedic taught him compassion and the weight of responsibility. He knew what it was to stand in moments where one decision meant life or death. But duty could not silence the music inside him. House music, with its thumping pulse and endless energy, pulled him toward nightclubs and festivals. At 27, he faced a choice that most would call reckless. He had just been accepted into the fire department, a stable career that would have secured his future. Instead, he walked away, choosing the chaos of Los Angeles and the uncertain life of a DJ. He built a career in the shadows of flashing lights and pounding bass, spinning at clubs and festivals, including the main stage at EDC Orlando. To his family, it looked like madness. To him, it was survival. The music gave him a reason to keep moving forward. And then, one night on the set of Castle, the same show where Victoria once acted, their paths collided. Their meeting was not just romantic serendipity, it was the convergence of two lives marked by risk. Victoria knew the sting of rejection. Rico knew the weight of sacrifice. Both understood what it meant to abandon safety for the hope of something greater. They married, and instead of a traditional house, they chose a yacht as their first home. For 8 years, they lived aboard a Meridian 42 feet, navigating not just the waters, but the delicate balance of building careers around passion. Money was tight. Opportunities were uncertain, but the boat gave them something neither Hollywood nor the DJ booth could provide: a sense of belonging. During those years afloat, they both became licensed captains, capable of running charters and businesses. But it was the camera, an object Victoria knew all too well, that became their most powerful tool. At first, they streamed on Facebook Live, testing if anyone cared about yacht tours. The answer came in the form of a Bering yacht video that went viral. Overnight, the couple was no longer just living on a boat. They were at the center of a digital storm. When the Bering shipyard invited them to film more yachts, Victoria and Rico realized they had stumbled onto something bigger than themselves. But early fame came with suspicion. Viewers wondered if their content was secretly funded by shipyards, if the couple had sold authenticity for sponsorships. Rumors spread in comment sections and online forums. They responded with a bold decision: never accept payment for yacht tours. By refusing work-for-hire deals, they risked financial security, but they preserved the trust of their audience. The choice was radical in a creator economy where most would trade integrity for stability. That gamble paid off. Their audience grew. The brand became known not for glossy marketing but for honesty. Still, the scrutiny never disappeared. Some saw them as opportunists who had built a business on other people's boats. Others whispered about cracks in their relationship, questioning whether their marriage could survive the weight of work and fame. Every smile on camera was analyzed. Every pause in uploads fueled speculation. What outsiders rarely saw was the grind behind the glamour. The Nauti Styles channel was just one part of a sprawling business that included yacht management, brokerage, and a dealership. Rico's background in marketing and events proved invaluable. Victoria's camera skills and narrative instincts gave their videos a polished few competitors matched. Together, they built an empire that did not just survive on views but thrived on real-world business. YouTube was never their endgame, it was their engine. Still, the price was steep. Their lives blurred into work. Every trip became content. Every private moment risked becoming public. They moved constantly, splitting time between Los Angeles, Turkey, and industry events. And looming over it all was their most ambitious project yet, the Bearing 82 Adamas. More than a yacht, it was a symbol of everything they had built and everything they could lose. The project demanded years of planning, millions of dollars, and relentless documentation. Fans followed every update, hungry for progress. For Victoria and Rico, the pressure was immense. If it succeeded, it would cement their legacy. If it failed, it could unravel everything. As their fame grew, so did the questions. Could any couple truly survive living their entire lives under the lens? Friends described them as inseparable, yet the stress of constant filming tested even their resilience. Viewers speculated on disagreements caught in subtle expressions, pauses too long, smiles that seemed forced. At the same time, the broader YouTube landscape shifted. Creators burned out. Giants like Matt Pat, Tom Scott, and Jenna Marbles stepped back, each citing exhaustion, family, or accountability. Against this backdrop, Nauti Styles appeared unshakable, a brand immune to collapse. But those close to them knew the truth. It was not immunity, but relentless sacrifice. Nights editing until dawn, endless negotiations with shipyards, the constant fear that the algorithm could turn on them at any moment. For Victoria, the ghosts of Hollywood rejection still lingered. For Rico, the memory of a safe career abandoned for risk haunted him. Both carried unspoken questions. Was this worth it? Could their empire withstand the storm? Despite the doubts, they pressed forward. Each setback became another reason to push harder. Their refusal to compromise on authenticity turned critics into supporters. Their transparency about the yacht-building process created a community deeply invested in their success. The strength of Nauti Styles was not in its videos alone, but in the philosophy behind it. Do hard things if you want an easy life. Victoria and Rico had lived that mantra long before it became a catchphrase. She endured years in Hollywood with little to show. He abandoned a career in uniform to chase music. Together, they chose the uncertainty of life afloat. Each choice was hard. Each choice made the next one easier. For now, Victoria and Rico continue forward, their lives intertwined with the seas they love and the cameras that never stop rolling. Their story reminds us that behind every polished YouTube video lies a raw human struggle, and behind every empire lies two people who once stood at the edge of uncertainty and chose to leap.